Welcome to the best Monday night sports show on Joy Prime. It's called Sports Zone. My name is Fento Tahiru Fento, your host. We are on from now till 10:30 p.m. reviewing the best action from the world of sport all around from the weekend. And we've got quite a lot happening. Clearly, no Ghana Premier League as the league is on pause following the fatal stabbing of a Kotoko fan. A vigil was held on his behalf on Sunday night. But today, Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Hearts of Oak are biting and showing their prowess. They released a joint statement making certain demands on the Ghana Football Association. Above all, the two clubs want the management of the Ghana Premier League to be taken away from the Ghana Football Association and given to an autonomous body. They also want the Ghana Football Association to take full control of security arrangements on match days, including sending at least 200 policemen for Category B matches, as well as sending policemen to do police work 72 hours before the game. These are some of the demands that Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Hearts of Oak are making before the return of league football in Ghana. We'll take you through that statement and take you through their issues and see which ones are feasible, which ones are sensible, which ones are reasonable. All of that to come here on the show. Plus, we'll take you to England, where the magic of the cup reared its head. Liverpool kicked out of the FA Cup by a team bottom of the championship. That only happens in the FA Cup. Chelsea also suffered exit. Spurs suffered exit in a weekend that saw many heavyweights fall in the fifth round of the FA Cup. We'll take you to La Liga, where Barcelona have closed in on the top two, with Real Madrid and Atletico sharing the spoils in La Liga. It allowed Barcelona to get even closer to the title race. All of that to come here on the show. Also, well, we will take you all the way to the USA with Super Bowl action on Sunday night. Quite a lot. Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. They not like us. But the Philadelphia Eagles were the real superstars of the day, winning 40-22 in a smashing defensive performance in Super Bowl 59. Welcome to the show is proudly sponsored by Centex Tank, your solution to water storage. Piva Beverages, producers of Piva natural mineral water, Tangy, and quite a lot more very flavorful drinks for you. Show also proudly sponsored by Guinness, which will bring you Guinness Match Day, Daniel Cranting and switch off a flavor stream, will man the screen, and then also, of course, Kivo Gary 4-in-1 mix. The show is live and interactive on social media, so get in touch with us. Let's hear from you. Use the hashtag SportsZone on Twitter. It's streaming there as well, and I'll read those messages for you. Also send me a message on the number on your screen, 0551 575757, and I'll read your messages for you. Your thoughts on everything happening from the world of sports right here on the show. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I'll introduce the guys. I don't know, they've been arguing since the start of the show. I don't know what they've been talking about. But right after this, I'll introduce you to them. All right, welcome back. This is Sports Zone. Guys, welcome to the show. Switch off a flavor stream and Daniel Cranty. What's happening?
When you are coming back from break,
I don't give you warning. I don't give you warning.
All the things we discuss off the set.
All your nonsense.
Charlie, if it comes to don't ban your program.
this guy.
They will ban the program.
Charlie, guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man.
You're right, man?
Kendrick's performance, the standard you've set, he didn't reach.
What do you mean? This is a sports show, please.
The standard,
Super Bowl is the only sports event where...
Sports and music.
Super Bowl is the only event where after the game, no one talks about the game.
Yeah.
The halftime performance.
The standard has been set.
What's wrong?
No, you see,
What's wrong?
the performance in itself, if it was anywhere else, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was...
But for Super Bowl...
But for Super Bowl, the standard...
What's your issue? What was the problem with it?
You know, Rich.
The thing that vexed me, be the ones that they want us to go and revise literature notes to come and understand.
To come and understand it. Is it there that you want us to know?
Metaphor, symbolism. Basta.
They are not serious.
Let me tell you something about the Ghanaian sports culture and American sports culture. Like, there are many Ghanaians who are wannabes. Like, Let me tell you, see, most of them are the Super Bowl, they don't watch. They don't understand.
We have a name for them.
But
have a name for
when
them.
it comes to, like, they want to feel like,
Hey,
you know
we
it.
have a name for them. You know,
And I remember during the Olympic Games, it heated up in the knockouts. People were paying attention to France. People were paying attention to the USA. In fact, we had a great final of the Olympics. And if you monitor social media, those who would wake up at dawn or midnight to watch the NBA, some of them were actually sounding jealous that like all of a sudden all of you are trying to claim like you like NBA.
It's called gatekeeping.
Like,
Gatekeeping,
bro,
yeah.
I was like, Charlie, relax.
Yeah, gatekeeping.
That was virtually the whole thing. Like, they're like,
Really?
yeah. If you
Gatekeeping watching NBA.
it's like
Because it's so chic and it's so...
no, they are like they are the real NBA guys. All of you are outsiders.
People
and
would
you're the
drop-
Olympics. All of you want to sound like
You know.
Shut up and let's
I
talk.
see
I'm like,
that.
Massa.
Anyway.
Massa Sports.
Well, guys, welcome to the show. Listen, we'll talk about that Super Bowl performance a little later in the show. If you have thoughts on that, I'm very much interested. Why
Can
not?
I send a message?
I don't know who's.
Can I send a message? Because
the
even
Super Bowl-
a pregnant Rihanna's performance.
really. Yeah, I think it was better.
Well, I mean, they don't like us. They don't like us.
No, I
Man, yeah,
think,
deserve.
Yeah.
It's not time we like. Wait,
no, I think it's the whole beef thing, right? And so the Kendrick guys are like, by hook or crook, even if deep down they don't think it was great, they are sticking by the guns that like it was great. Because the Drake guys are out with arms like that.
Yeah.
Is that all you've got? Like, so depending upon the side of the divide that you are, you wanna stick to it. Like, hey, it was great. You don't understand music. People are like, you don't understand hip hop culture. I'm like, which school did you learn that hip hop culture from?
Yeah.
Man, well, that's fine.
I don't know about you guys, but did you watch the Super Bowl halftime show? I'm sure you've seen other Super Bowl halftime shows. Let's hear from you.
Oh, God.
Send us a message to that WhatsApp number, 0551 575 Let me know whether you enjoyed it, whether you think... and I don't know if you're an American football fan as well. What do you made of the game itself? That solid defensive performance from the Philadelphia Eagles. Their second win in history. The last time they won was 2017. Philadelphia Eagles are the only the only NFL team with an official fan base here in Ghana. And I do stuff with them. I think you know that. The last time they had a flag tournament, I was there. I emceed Super Bowl 58, viewing party, came here. Monday, my eyes were, so this year I turned it down. I was like, it's okay.
No, you have money.
I love money, but...
You have money.
Okay.
It's the only reason why you turn it down.
So, but they did another viewing party, and I kind of regret it because this year they actually won.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that
would have been massive.
It was amazing. It really was amazing.
You had the issue.
We had
You had the issue. You had the reason why they didn't win the last time.
You didn't go, no, they
this
won.
time because you're not there.
but the last.
Yeah, the bad woman.
All right. But let's talk. That's the viewing party. I said this producer came prepared. He has everything. But if I mention, he's there. I've forgotten. I've roped him in. He's part. He's part of the all 10 people. This was the viewing party. This was at. So look, this is Ghana. This is 3 in the morning. Yes, this is 3 in the morning at
Touchdown!
at pit stop. This is 3 in the morning at pit stop. You understand? At pit stop. And it was amazing. Like, and these are the gatekeepers who is complaining. I'm sure this guy, if next year he sees another person, they will say, you, that's 2 years, you were not here. 3 years ago. When we started doing there, you were not here. But listen, this is 3 in the morning, guys. You know, sometimes I feel like the other so-called, the other so-called, is that not Kali?
That's him.
That's what.
Have it here now.
Yeah, that's always what I feel like people don't understand about these so-called like lesser-known sports or American sports, or that people don't understand when we say they have a huge following. They really do have a huge following. It's like, and I always use one example to demonstrate it. F1. Like, when I first came to Accra, like, I was so fascinated about F1. I always wanted to talk about it on some of our shows. The guys used to tell me to shut up every time I opened my mouth about it. And then like a few years later, and now we went to do, I think, a road show, and there was a Liverpool-Arsenal game on, and there was an F1 game on. And there were more people
watching the
F1 than they were watching Liverpool-Arsenal. And that was when they truly believed that there's a huge following for the sport. So, but you see the Eagles fans with their T-shirts and what have you. So that's really cool for them, you know. Anyway, so we'll see about that. So congratulations to the Eagles, their second win. But the Kansas City, for them, I have no idea what happened to them, man. This is the 6th final in the last 5 years. And they're looking to make it 3 in a row. So it's crazy how good they've been. Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, but Mahomes had a disaster of a game. Anyway, let's come back home and talk about very critical issues. Earlier today, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they and Accra House of Folk released a statement to talk about the issues with the Ghana Football Association, okay, and the Ghana Premier League. Now, last night, there was a vigil held in honor of Nana Poli, who was fatally stabbed last Sunday. First off, let's take this quick report from Achutamaklo on the highlights of what basically Kotoko and House of Folk want the Ghana Football Association to do.
Clubs want automatic slots on the GFA's Executive Council, which will require changing the current statute to exempt 2 members from the council's elections. They are also asking for revenue share of the broadcast rights deal to reflect their contribution and the number of their televised matches to be made known before the commencement of each season. Today's statement also demanded the constitution of an autonomous league to be run by an independent management team. Hearts and Kotoko are also asking for reinforced police and military presence numbering up to 120 for each match and a strict enforcement of the club licensing requirements for venue protocols. In fact, they went as far as saying that if any venue did not meet requirements, the match ought to be hosted by a different venue. The proposal also asks for a full implementation of the Gbadegbe Commission's reports.
All right, so just for emphasis' sake, let's go to those recommendations again on the screen and just read them to you. So this is a joint statement. You can see the logos of the 2 clubs there, but I cannot read with the speed of light. Please go back to the first page for me. Okay, thank you. Pause it here. So basically, this is what Kotoko wants. So Kotoko and Hearts, I beg your pardon. Item number 1, they want the Gbadegbe Commission report to be fully implemented. That commission report was what looked into the happenings of May 9. Now, it made lots of recommendations. We can take you to some of the recommendations that it made, including asking the House of Folk and Kotoko to not play an evening game. It's a recommendation that I think is not valid now, given what has happened to the sports infrastructure, especially in the venues that those 2 teams play. 2, the number of police personnel deployed for Category A and B matches, basically Ghana Premier League game, should be at least 100. The existing number should be 120. But it's not complied with because why? I'll tell you why the clubs don't comply with. But the 2 clubs, House of Folk and Kotoko, want that to be strictly enforced. They also want, in addition to the 100 policemen, 20 military men at every Category A match and 8 and Category A and B matches, I beg your pardon. So they want 20 military men in addition to the 100 police officers. Okay, that's what they want. Now, they also want security personnel to be from other stations in the region and not from the locality of the match venue. So if you're playing a match in Nswatre, the 100 policemen should not be from the Nswatre police station. That's what they're saying. They should come from outside of Nswatre police station. Interesting. They want security cameras to be installed at all league centers. All league centers. This is what House of Folk and Kotoko are demanding. They also want a new risk assessment to be undertaken to categorize matches properly. And we discussed this issue the last time. You can't just wake up and say this one is category B match. The risk must be properly assessed. G, they said a match scheduled at League Center which does not meet the criteria for hosting matches of that category should be moved to an appropriate venue. So if Kotoko and Nshuatreman are to play in Nshuatre and it's categorized as a category A match, that venue is not fit enough to host a category A match, you should move the match from that venue, even if it is Nshuatreman's home game. That's what they are asking. They also want the club licensing department to define new minimum standards that all Premier League match venues must meet. They already have the club licensing, but they don't know the minimum standard because they just pass people. Finally, this one, they say as soon as possible. But please go back to the previous ones. Let me show you what they want. Now, they said it is imperative that the GFA takes immediate control of security arrangements. I'm reading that sentence. Immediate control of security arrangement. In other words, the previous arrangement was that the home team will take charge of the security arrangements and pay the police officers. House of Folk and Kotoko are saying that the FA must now take control of arranging the security and paying the security officers. Take that away from the clubs. It says the safety and security of individuals and property at all league centers must be significantly enhanced without delay, as well as strict adherence of the club licensing regulations. Okay? And they're saying that this is in the best interest of Ghana football. And this is guided by the principles of fairness and reasonableness. Okay? But the problem is they do not tell us when these particular ones must be implemented. Whether these must be implemented before the league football resumes, that is not clear in the statement. And I have a problem with that. They don't tell us when they want these things implemented, whether they are insisting that these must be done before they deem it safe to return to football. They don't tell us in the statement. Now, the next category, the next batch of recommendations, this one, they also don't give timelines. They say as soon as possible. How soon is possible? And those ones, they say the league should be made autonomous and run by an independent management team. How soon should that happen? Should have happened in Ketokreku's first time. It didn't. Number two, the GFA should work towards the exemption of match proceeds from VAT and other similar deductions, and that the GFA should disclose to Kotoko and House of Folk before the commencement of each football season the total number of their matches that will be televised to ensure that a fair percentage of the revenue from sponsorship and TV right deals is determined and duly paid to us. Sicho will comment on that matter because it's a very, very big issue. And then 4, Kotoko and Heart should be automatically represented on the GFA Executive Committee. They want permanent seats at the GFA Exco. My assumption, therefore, is that the first batch of recommendations they want done immediately. The second batch they want done at a reasonable time. That's my assumption, even if it is not explicitly stated. Guys, that is a lot to chew on from House of Folk and Kotoko. Where do you want to start from?
Well, the first thing I want to ask is, what has Kotoko and House of Folk really done as clubs, as two huge clubs in Ghana, like as football clubs, to demand some of the things they're demanding? That's the first thing.
Because you're saying what's their locus? What's
really their locus? Because if you ask me, I don't think they themselves have been run professionally. I think that they've not necessarily... You see, it is the name, Kotoko and Hearts, that is giving them the right to write these things that they are writing. But when it comes to acts and deeds, they've not lived it. right? If we go to a country like Egypt and Ali and Zamalek are asking, if we go to Morocco and Wydad are asking some of these things, they have put premium things in place, like their match day protocols are sharp. You know, when they have had to be in charge of security, it's been top. So when they are now demanding from the FA, there's a low cost to it. But having said that, I think that I get why they are demanding this. What has happened to Ghana football in the last couple of days is a perfect opportunity for the reset that many people are asking for. And some of the things these clubs have put on paper to the FA are things that they've discussed over the years behind closed doors. The TV revenue issue is not the first time. The number of security personnel they want about around their games is not the first time. The protection they've demanded when they travel away from home, it is not the first time. The how to get their reps at the FA, it's not the first time. So it's almost like this issue has presented an opportunity for them to now push big time what they feel will benefit them. And for me, what they put on paper benefits them the more, and not necessarily the entire, you know.
There's a few selfish points in there.
Which I understand the other two. With Hearts and Kotoko, there's no Ghana Premier League now, really, but with Hearts and Kotoko, then there's nothing really for us to hang on, right, because they are the two biggest clubs. So I understand where they are drawing their power from. But if only they were doing things a lot more professional and they themselves were up to it, then they would have wielded more power. But then, now that they've put this on paper, some of them, I think, are within the remits of the FA, and others too needs extensive and massive consultation, like especially when you're demanding 120 police officers, depending on at least 100. I said at least 100
plus 20 military.
But plus 20, yeah. But we know the standard is 120 for Category A games, so at least 100 games. The FA can't determine that. Negotiations have to go on. Then we have to hear from Ghana Police if it is possible everywhere. Because, to be fair, they've also said the number of police we've got in Ghana is not even enough. So are they able to give 120, depending upon one weekend, depending upon what other activities are happening in that? And that is why when you go to advanced countries, in the scheduling of leagues, police of counties, like the police of the county or the region or the state or whichever are heavily involved, because they will tell you, on this day, don't bring the game here. On that day, we can't do this game. On even those in charge of transport, all the we don't have metro in Ghana, so we can't. But all these people are part of decision making in terms of arranging fixtures. Because whereas you're thinking about only football, there might be cricket, rugby, other massive sports happening in the locality that would demand a pool. So
in our sense, funeral.
In our sense, funeral or big events, you know, so
rallies.
Right. So all of that has to be then negotiated and discussed with Ghana Police, and we'll see. I think they'll come to a middle ground, but it's not cast in stone that it has to be. And I think that will be discussed.
Yeah.
Now they also want to be part of the FAS reps, and that for me, I understand the power play here. I really do understand the power play because now these two clubs need to look out for themselves, and the thinking is, if Kotoko and Hearts are looking out for themselves, its effect, residual effect, goes down to all the other clubs that are around the Premier League. And so we'll see how that goes. Then on the matter of the TV rights, it's an interesting one, really. I think it's fair. Now, when it comes to TV rights, they are basically, they are more, but basically you can break it into two. You've got your domestic TV rights and you've got your international TV rights. Yeah. Normally, international TV rights are sold to countries that are going to show every single game, right? And so those rights, they are shared equally. But when it comes to your domestic TV rights, not all the games are on TV. So the teams that get most of their games on TV have got a bigger share of the money. So for instance, like we are in Ghana and we are watching all Premier League games. We are watching all La Liga games, all Serie A games. That is an international right to the people of UK. So that international right, Crystal Palace, Man United, Liverpool, all of them are going to get the same amount of money. But when you enter the UK, not all games are on TV. So the games that are on TV, the teams that we are seeing them more, get a better share. Now, when they bring it down to Ghana, we don't sell any international rights to anybody. We don't get any focus for international rights. So,
but we got a domestic right. So
that is what they are saying. They have a valid point. Yeah. Because we see them every weekend, which means that they have to earn more. And they also mentioned
And it's very intentional and very justified.
Yeah,
because if you watch Ghana Premier League broadcast and you study the pattern, you were involved in it.
Yeah.
Every single weekend,
Hearts and Kotoko.
Hearts and Kotoko games were on TV.
Yeah, every single weekend. And of course, that's what people want to see. And they're like, yeah, people want to see us. But then while they are watching us, the money that we are making from the fans watching us, it has to tell on us.
Yes.
It has to. And only a couple of years ago, it was the same in Spain. Real Madrid and Barcelona were making a lot of money until Tebas came and they made it, more rounded. But even them, the domestic revenue coming in, international one is coming equally. So I think they've got genuine points in there. But we'll see how they're able to negotiate their way through.
TJ?
Yeah, I understand some of the points that they've raised. But for me, the one that worries me is when they ask the GFA to seek tax exemptions for them. That one I don't...
They should be talking to the sports minister for that.
They shouldn't be talking to anybody for that. Look, how long are we going to be spoon-feeding these clubs? I maintain that the product football is still very attractive in this country. So there must be a problem with local football which causes people not to patronize it. Because anytime it suits them, it's a private business.
Yep.
Yeah, very convenient.
Anytime it suits them, it's a private business.
Football people.
Football people. But you know how to come and ask for our taxpayers' money when it's convenient for you. And you stoke our emotions to do that. No, for me, because you are demanding extra security. Who is going to pay for that?
Right.
Yeah.
Who is going to pay for the extra security? Who is going to pay for the extra military men? It's not their duty.
It's our taxes that train them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look, a couple of seasons ago, the GFA tasked the clubs to train stewards to stadiums. These two clubs haven't adhered to that. Mm-hmm. You go to the stadium all the time. These two clubs haven't. They started well and then they
fell
stopped.
off. Yeah.
So you don't really have a right to come and stand in front of us and demand this level of, when you are not prepared to put your money where your mouth is. So for me, that is a non-starter at all. Mm-hmm. I think that it's high time we push our clubs and the FA. I always say this thing. Look, if we're able to bring the quality up to a certain level, to a competitive level, the amount of money that these clubs will enjoy, we don't need to be having these statements. They will not need to bring out these statements. We will now in turn go to them and ask them to be funding us, as it happens elsewhere. Because the clubs will generate enough money, they will be affecting the economy in a positive way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Not them always coming to government for subsidized player salaries today. They want tax. This tax exemption is not the first time. We heard, what was it? Was it at the start of this season?
Yeah.
Swatraman asked for tax exemptions at the start of the season because they were going to Africa. It's a private business. It's in 2025 now. There are so many examples of clubs, and I'm not going to talk outside Africa, in Africa, who have turned this business into a profitable one and are reaping the benefits of it. We can't continue to spoon-feed these clubs, especially the big... Hearts and Kotoko shouldn't be asking for this thing. They shouldn't be. And as Cicho said, they themselves have not run themselves as top professional clubs that the others should be looking at to try and emulate. They have... It's just the name.
Yeah. Today I saw
by
somebody,
virtue of the name...
Honestly, today I saw someone... Oh, actually, not someone. It was Felix was asking... I tagged House of Folk on Twitter and asked them if they still have an MD.
Yeah.
If the club still has an MD.
And you see, when we speak about security...
Kotoko have not had a management in place.
Oh, yeah.
There's no CEO.
Yeah.
They have an IMC that included a coach. Then they kicked him out. That's not very professional.
No.
Then they have a technical advisor who's the head coach of a national team elsewhere on the continent.
Yeah. No, I've always said that Hearts and Kotoko they have issues. They are part of the problem that confronts Ghana football, really, because, look, Ali and the rest are not waiting for the other teams in Egypt to be run like... To come to their level. They are moving. Their target is, in fact, they think of themselves as Real Madrid and Barcelona. Yeah. That is the level of that Hearts and Kotoko should have been. I want to speak about security on match days. you don't rely on the 120 policemen or at least 100 policemen. Every serious football club has a partnership with a security agency.
As well.
Every top, they've got. So you see a security company that is partnering the club who deploy a number of security personnel on match days. Some are in the crowd, some are around the place. And so when you talk about security, when you read what they've written, there isn't any point where they had and Kotoko will be responsible for anything.
Yeah, everything is from the FA.
They are demanding everything from the FA. Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Kotoko's FA. I'm not going to shy away from that. But some of the things they are demanding from them is very unfair because they themselves have not done, they've not said anything about what they would want to do to improve their match day security and experience. What they're then throwing out there is whatever should do, whatever, because we are Hearts and Kotoko. And that for me doesn't work because these two clubs are big problems. They've not run themselves professionally. And to be fair, they don't deserve some of the things they are demanding.
Fair enough. I don't know about you, man, or lady watching us right now. Send us a message, 0551 575 what you make of the proposal from Hearts of Oak and Kumasi and Kotoko to the GFA. Earlier today, the sports minister met with the Ghana Football Association. Kotoko was missing in action. His vice was missing in action. Other top senior management, EXCO members were missing. I didn't quite like that. I don't know where they are. When the sports minister, on his first day in office, calls a meeting with the Ghana Football Association, if you're not available, fix it for a day that everyone is available. The sports minister would understand. Don't send a skeletal team made up of the general secretary, communications director, and 1 or 2 ESCO members. I don't think that is respectful enough, and that's just my opinion. I don't know where Ket is, or where his vice is, where Randiabe is, and it also does tell us about priorities. Unless they are sick and in bed or bedridden, there is nothing else much more important than that. And in all of this hooliganism issue, I have not even seen the GFA president. The only time I've heard from him in the last 2 weeks was when he said that he had been approved to contest for CAF ESCO slot. That's it. Where's the GFA president? We are in a crisis. The league is paused. Where's the GFA president? Where's his vice president? If it was Black Stars in town, we would have seen him.
We'll see me match.
For sure. I mean, I don't understand. Well, this is not important. You understand me? It's a fair point to make. And anyone close to the GFA president, speak to him. Leadership, you need to show your face. We're not saying come and talk, but we need to see you doing something.
Sorry, friend, let me ask
being
this.
in meetings.
Has he been to the venue where the incident happened?
No, he wasn't at that meeting.
No, they sent DCOP leader Donko.
See, that is where you need to show a certain level of leadership, empathy, care. You are the back.
They sent a delegation to Kotoko as well. He wasn't, like, he's not been anywhere.
The back stops with you when it comes to the league, at minimum the league. I won't say Ghana football, I think government has. But when it comes to the league, it's you.
That's their number one product.
That is your number one. I'm thinking that this is where you show yourself to be responsible. Get to the ground, meet the family. Let's see you sitting with the police. Let's see you talk between the clubs.
Even engaging the Shotterman fans, go there, talk to them.
The whole optics of it and the responsibility taken by a leader. Like, this is not, you see, when the Blacks are hitting your chest,
I don't know what's happening.
You're hitting your head and crashing your, insulting other national teams. That is not leadership. When it gets tough, when things are going south, that is where we need the leader to face up, to be the face of the FA. He's almost being a coward in this situation, hiding behind things that nobody knows where he is.
I mean, is he okay? Because this is very unusual. Like, I don't get it.
It's not just about his absence. You mentioned the ones close to him. His face hasn't been. I've not seen his face. I've not seen his vice.
Yeah. No.
That's the thing.
Yes.
We are seeing the general secretary in all these important meetings.
Mr. Fedora.
Yeah. We are not seeing him.
With his hat. They're the ones we are
and
seeing.
it's an issue. They're meeting with the supporters groups.
Same thing.
He wasn't there.
Was he there when they made the clubs?
I don't know. Achu was there. Maybe he can tell us if he was there. But I'm not sure.
No, in all this, we've not seen him anywhere.
So,
that's terrible.
well, unless he's unwell, indisposed, I find this very irresponsible. But if he's unwell and they don't want to tell us because it's private, what about his vice too? Is he also unwell? I'm not sure they all suddenly had the same problem at the same time. So, I mean, something is not right at the Ghana Football Association's leadership. And now clearly Randiabe has other important businesses. Ghana football is secondary, or I don't even think it's number 2 on his list of priorities. You understand? So something has to change as far as that's concerned. Gaza will disgrace them at the finals. Praise from La Paz with that message. This one said, good evening, guys. As an investor, after the Liverpool match, I found my Liverpool pulling out of his slot. Hey, Liverpool kill me, from Ben, inside Bogor. So, Ben, thank you. This message said, good evening, guys. My name is Adanera Richmond, watching you live in Navrongo. Thank God my team went through to the next round of the FA Cup, but Yanum didn't. Our next match will be Woto Madrid. This one says, hi, friend. My favorite Super Bowl performance was 93. Michael Jackson. He made that halftime show what it is today, followed by Prince in 07, and finally the Dre, Eminem, and 50 Cent 2 years ago. And finally, I'm happy Kotoko and Hart are exerting their influence in our game. Great initiative. That's an interesting message.
How old is he?
Tisho wants to know how old you are. I don't know if you watched the Prince one live or he went to watch
anyway,
YouTube
man, in these days in technology, it's an unfair question. You can go on YouTube, watch the highlights and comment.
Is the age one the unfair question, or if you watch it live is the unfair one? I was saying that I'm wondering if you watched it live.
No, I think the age. My question is an unfair one because you didn't have to be there to watch it live.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Good evening, guys. I want to speak about the Kotoko statement they released. It makes a lot of sense. They should make sure that all is kept in place before they resume the Ghana Premier League. Okay, the GFA must wake up from their slumber. Please, let me use this opportunity to wish Reverend John Isahaku, Director of Zera Missions Africa, a happy birthday. Wishing you good health in Jesus' name. This is from Joseph, sending love to the crew. And he said hi to Karim. On that note, happy birthday to Perlo as well. Osman, today's his birthday. Oh. A very big fan of the show. So he's a fire officer in Jusso, I believe.
And he's a Chelsea fan.
Huh?
And he's a Chelsea and a Hearts of Oak fan.
He's a Chelsea fan. I know he's a Hearts of Oak fan. I just didn't know he was a Chelsea fan.
Chelsea fan.
A Chelsea fan.
And the moment he took off his hat, I noticed that he's losing all his hair. So, this one says, since the Blasters have decided to win anything for us to celebrate, I'm grateful for my Eagles. Center City was sweet last night. Hey, this is what sports is all about. Go Bears. You see, so that's an Eagles fan sending us that message. This one says, greetings, friends. I believe the reset agenda is working. Number 1, the country is on reset. Number 2, resetting our football league through House and Kotoko. And number 3, Benai is on point with today and his presentations. Ni Amu in Apollonia City. Benai is getting fans. Are you sure you are not Benai's friend?
I'm sure he's on the show than anyone else.
I'm shocked.
No, the reason why he is his name is always on the show, but nobody sees the face. So it keeps people wondering, like, nobody cares about such a Daniel offense. Everybody sees
Who is Benai?
Who is Benai? Who is Benai? He's so popular on the show.
Greetings, guys. I think M, Mary J. Blige, Dre, Snoop, and 50 K. Dot is the best. Okay, she's saying that that's his best. All right, thank you very much. His best Super Bowl halftime show. This one says, I'm Pacino. Chelsea and Liverpool are funny clubs. The best team in the world were smacked by a plywood called Plymouth. And as for Chelsea, they must go and sleep. Tomorrow is the Champions League. I hope Pep plays Uzbek Jackie Chan so that he will put Mbappe and Vinicius in his pocket. If City will beat Madrid, majority of the work will be done by the defensive midfielder, who will likely be Nico Gonzalez. I know the Everman and Danny Boy agree with me. They just called you the Everman. I
am an Everman, 100%. You're not wrong. I'm 100%.
His name is Sicho. Or call him Philip.
Sicho, yes.
Yes. This one says, please call Henry for us so that we can know where those Top Guns are. Albert from Lebanon sent us that. He wants to know where the GFA Top Guns are. And this one says, hello, good evening. I always wait to watch your sports show. I'm Mrs. Fortunate Owusu, watching you live inside. I have forgot. So,
Mrs.
Boss, please, I need your suit for my husband.
Mrs. You sport it.
And her name is Fortunate.
Fortunate, yeah.
That's a lovely name.
Yeah.
That's a lovely name.
Fortunate to have you join us all the time.
Nice one. Nice one. We are fortunate to have fortunate. Fortunate, don't worry. I'll give you my tailor's number. You sort out your husband, okay? Don't worry. But thanks for always watching the show all the way from Ahafo. So, you know, that's quite a distance. But by the way, this Friday, I'm going to Siani. You know. So if you are watching us in Siani, please send me a message. Send me a message. I'm going to Siani, and then I'll tell you why I'm coming. Send me a message. If you are watching the show from Siani, tell me a message. If you want to meet me when we come there, I'll carry Situ and Danike with me. Please send us a message. We'll link up when we come there. This one says, hello, good evening to you and your pundit. Enzo Maresca had one of the most unviable squad at the end of last year's summer window. He had the squad to play in a variety of systems, yet he's failed to find the right combinations for the attack. All the 4 players can play multiple roles. He should think up with the attack sometimes. It's getting irritating. BB, Bekwai Municipal Hospital in Ashanti, sent us that message. BB is livid. He's angry. And this one says, curious how Chelsea's season has gone downhill ever since they banned Midrick for doping.
So there's a theory I was discussing with Danny. Do you remember the theory? The theory is that, don't take me serious. But the theory is...
That's Tim and Takrady, by the way.
The theory is the whole team was doping. And then they caught Woodrick. So they quickly had to stop
anyway. Coaching. Karim, it's time for Ghanaian players abroad. What's up for this past weekend? Yet again, another reminder to Otoado that his players are very good.
Yes.
What's going on here?
I absolutely love my Bible. We don't play with the word of God.
Karim, what's going on?
He's coming
to go to La Liga.
What does Romans 13 verse 7 say?
Tell me what he says.
Oh,
Tell us what
he said you love your Bible, and I'm asking you, what does...
Karim, tell me what he says.
What does he say?
Okay, it says that give to everyone what you owe them. Be it taxes, you pay them. If it is revenue, pay it. If it is honor, respect, give it to them. Then, when you go to Ephesians 5 verse 11.
What?
Ephesians.
What's that? Why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
You know,
Just funny the way. I think this is the first time he's ever said the word.
That's true.
whether it's the first time or it's the second time.
I almost thought he said efficient.
Shoot.
Ephesians 5 verse 11 says that have nothing to do with the fruitless, rather expose them.
Yes.
Last week you made a post.
Okay.
You like Richard Ofori so much that you said he loves touching the ball too much.
Yes.
Without actually saving it.
Yes.
Did you make a post this past weekend?
No.
So you failed to give him what you owe him.
What happened last weekend?
But you fished out the fruitless.
Yes.
And going to make fun of it. But when the due came,
yes,
you refused to give him the honor and respect.
Okay.
This weekend, the past week, like 2 weeks ago,
yes,
he made a comical error against... Two. You see,
it was
what he did this weekend, did you talk about it?
Two mistakes.
Harry,
So
please
follow the word of God.
focus on your segment and forget Daniel Crancy.
The past weekend, he made some error against Kaiser. 2 weeks ago, actually. He made some error against Kaiser Chiefs, and they drew that game goalless. Boga, why? Whether it's 1 or 2, one resulted in a goal.
Both resulted in goals.
I don't care. I've seen
The first one went... You didn't see the first goal. It went under the guy's
Okay, Karim, thank you very much for your segment. I told you to forget Crancy and
Forget
go on with your show.
the person is heckling.
You
You're
are
supposed
there.
to control it.
I want you to
Control
highlight the...
Why is Ofori here? Let me talk.
Ofori is retired from the national team.
Yes. He has not retired since when?
We have retired him.
Wait, actually.
Are you listening well?
The thing is that over the weekend, he did well against... his team is Amazulu, and they played against Marumo Gallants, and he made 2 fantastic saves. That helped them win the game 2-0. And in that process, he kept his 4th clean sheet of the season in 12 games. So it's also just to tell us that it's not just players that are in Europe that are supposed to be in the team. The thing is that monitoring players in the African continent is a bit difficult because there's no data. But in the South African League, it's one of the advanced in Africa, and there's data. So I found him that he's done well. Last 2 weeks, when he didn't do well, we spoke about it, so I've put him there to give him his due. Then Stefan Ambrosius, he plays for St. Gallen, that is in the Swiss Super League, and in their game against FC Zurich, that is the team that Nafri plays for. But it's been since December 8, he has not featured for them in this game against St. Gallen, which St. Gallen won 2-1. He didn't also feature in the squad at all. Then Lawrence Atizigi was imposed for St. Gallen, but unfortunately made an error leading to goal, so he wasn't good enough to make the team. Then the 2 centre-back pairings at the left side of the 3-back system that I am playing is Mumin and Jerome Opoku. Both of them have a similar statistics over the weekend. That is passing accuracy. For Mumin, he plays for Vallecano, as we know, and they won 1-0 against Valladolid. Now, in that game, he completed the most passes. That is 73 for a centre-back. 73 passes completed. And if you come to Jerome Opoku as well, he plays for Başakşehir, and they played against Antalyaspor. That is in the Turkish Super League. And he also completed the most passes, 87. The 2 centre-backs completed the most passes in their games in the Turkish Super League and in the La Liga. So it means that when you have these 2 players in your team, you should be able to build from the back and control the game as well. Then Tariq Lamptey, we saw the highlights from the Chelsea game. He was the man of the match from that game and also won the most tackles for a player of his caliber. What a lot of people praise him about is his going forward, not defending. And in that game, he won the most tackles and won the most duels as well.
In that match, he played at left back.
Yes, actually. But we know he's versatile enough to play both positions. Then Ebenezer Annan, he was recalled by Red Star Belgrade from his loan at OFK Belgrade, both in the Serbian Super League. And his second game for them, he provided an assist in their 6-0 win over Radniki. Then Iñaki Williams provided his 7th assist of the season for them. And that now in La Liga, he's the second player with the most assists, apart from Lamine Yamal.
He's the player with the second most assists.
Yes, 7. Lamine Yamal has 10. And Semenyo, again, Everton versus
another man of the match performance.
Yes, another man of the match performance, scored a very unique penalty with some what interesting.
When I do have that penalty, I only made Jumano.
Hey, shot pound.
They said this one is straight from the streets of Manchester. Panyai. This is where we need that Ghanaian commentator. Look at it again. Look at it again. What's the shot?
Panyai.
Panyai. the run-up look is like he's not interested in no way. Panyai. What a goal.
We know he's a street footballer. That was his 9th goal of the season in all competitions after 26 games. So 9 goals, 7 in the Premier League, 2 in the FA Cup, 2 FA Cup games. Then Mohamed Hussein is also played for Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, that is in the Belgium League.
Royal Union Saint-Gilloise.
Oga. Saint-Gilloise and Cola, the good is here, please. So they won 2-1. And after 8 games, he has scored a goal. But this season, joining them in the summer, he has 7 goals in all competitions. So honorable mentions to Enes Nuama, Prince Edu Kwabena, a lot of them.
Honorable mentions.
Yes. So that's
and a former Ghanaian youth star has gone to, is it Morocco?
Yes, Samuel Obin.
Samuel Obing, left-footed, audacious player. I had a lot of hopes for him for what he would become. And I thought the Liga, no, not La Liga, Spanish football, he was playing in the 2nd tier back then. I thought it was perfect for his development with the kind of player he is with great technique. But things just haven't gone exactly his way. And he's now ended up at what? Without AC?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll see. All the best to him. Thank you, Karim. Thank you very much. Let's go to La Liga now and look at 2 big matches that happened over the weekend. First up, the Madrid derby, and there's quite a lot of talking points from that match. That's why I'm trying to get you into that game before we take you to the Champions League fixtures coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. It ended 1-1, but one moment stood out in this game. The penalty incident was the most controversial moment of this game. This should have been a red card, you believe.
Yeah.
But this is the penalty incident. Sicho, what's your mind here?
Not a pen, not in a million years. Look, even Tchouaméni is trying so hard not to plant his feet because he knows the player's leg is there. And if you see there's a better angle from behind where you see Tchouaméni's leg, I hope we get that. The one that they showed the referee on VAR, this angle is terrible. There's an angle from behind the player's Lino's leg where Tchouaméni is not planting his ankle because not even okay. If you take the slack off, maybe you have seen that he doesn't plant it, and I don't think every contact is a foul. Lino misses the ball goes on. Tchouaméni has to plant his feet,
and the ball goes in a different direction.
In a different direction.
And Lino is actually looking at the ball.
Look, he has absolutely no touch on the ball, and Tchouaméni doesn't even plant his feet. And okay, now the slacks are off. I hope we do get that there. Look at Tchouaméni's foot as it comes down.
The ball was nowhere near there.
The ball is gone. Look at Tchouaméni. He's tiptoed.
He does step on it.
No. I'm saying that not every contact is a foul.
I get you.
And for me, look at that.
And also look at Lino's body adjustment.
Yeah.
He's looking at the direction of the ball already because he feels like he's lost it.
He's lost the
He's
ball.
hoping a teammate would get it.
And for me, this is where when you look at this is how Tchouaméni plants his feet. He's tiptoed. His ankle is not planted to the turf because he doesn't want to step on the player. He's completely avoiding Lino there.
But
and then
his heel went down.
No, it's not. His heel didn't go down. Look, he's tiptoed. He didn't even plant. Look at that. He didn't plant his ankle. If he planted his ankle, it would have been full leg on Lino's leg. But this is how he ended up planting his feet. And he was completely avoiding him. My point is, this is where we say VAR is re-refereeing the game. Because when the referee sees this and decides that there's not enough in it, so it's not a pen, it's so subjective that it doesn't have to be called to the VAR. It's not clear and obvious. This, for me, is not a clear and obvious error. So I'm surprised you have to be called to the VAR, and I'm surprised he didn't stick to his guns.
Real Madrid did get the equalizer.
Good penalty, though. Good penalty, though.
Look, why are you
That's
moving?
the equalizer. DK, you want to comment on the penalty incident?
It's a clean penalty. It's a clean penalty.
Okay.
And again, when Cicho says clear and obvious is a Premier League rule. It's not a Serie La Liga rule. If the referee makes a mistake and VAR spots it, VAR has every right to call the referee. Was there contact? Yes. It's like saying...
Is every contact a pen?
Calm down. You see corner kicks, right? Friends, there are times where a corner kick is taken. The ball wasn't even coming in the direction of the player, but it was holding. And he drags the player down. Isn't that a penalty?
Yeah, that's a foul.
So are you telling me that if Lino attempts to take the ball and Tchouaméni clearly comes down on his heel because Lino didn't touch the ball, it's not a penalty? It's a penalty. No, because it's a foul inside the box. That's the definition of a penalty.
What I'm saying is
also,
not a foul.
5 minutes before that, Ceballos should have got a straight red card for that stamp.
And that's nothing to do with the penalty. That's nothing to do with the penalty.
No, I'm talking about the poor. It's poor officiating.
Yeah.
Bernard, I saw that thing again.
So I agree, VAR should for the referee to have a look at that to give a red card.
Let me finish. Bernard, show that one again.
It's right there. It's in the first 30
The
seconds
first
of
30 seconds is there.
Of the
Ceballos should have got a straight red card and VAR made a mistake. They gave him a yellow card for that. That should have been reviewed. He should have been sent off.
Agreed.
Point is, the player doesn't have to be going for the ball for it to become a penalty. I've given you the clear example. There are times where a ball is crossed in, it is going to you, I am behind you, and I'm pulled down by the defender. Referee sees it, it's a foul. Because I was fouled in the box, whether or not the ball was coming my direction or not.
Then the context here is
Tchouaméni
different because...
went down. You see, it's not about... And you see...
We have to move on.
Friends,
the rules, when two players are going for the same ball.
That's what he's talking about.
It's a clean red card.
I agree it's a foul. I agree it should be a red.
And friends, we all know this thing. The rule is not about intention. So let's not misinform. It's not about... It is about the fact.
It's the action.
It's the action.
No.
He may not have intended to. He may not have intended, but he did.
No.
We've seen players even slip into high foot tackle and get red card.
Penalty.
Look, I'm saying that even if there was contact,
I guess
it was so minimal,
2.
and it's not every
No,
contact.
he says it's not a foul.
That for me is not a foul.
Even if there was contact,
that for me is not a foul.
It's a clean foul.
You two are saying it's a foul.
Lino was on the floor for like 5 minutes. I don't want to tell
Lino
Lino.
on the floor is not just...
Are you going to tell Lino how painful the thing is?
No, it's not about pain. Not every pain is a foul.
Let's go to the second game.
Not every pain is a foul.
But the stamp is...
They don't stamp anybody.
They stamp the guy for... But it's not evidence.
So Barcelona took advantage. And then, obviously, 1-4 goes to 1. Listen, Barca, this was a good game for Barcelona. They've closed the gap on Atletico to 1 and Real Madrid to 2. So The La Liga title race is well and truly on.
Yeah, it is exciting for La Liga fans. That is what many of us wanted to see. At some point, Barca were running away with it. Atletico Madrid closed the gap. Then Real Madrid now, came to be on top. Then they've dropped a couple of points. Barcelona have put their form back together. So the second stretch of the season is going to be fascinating. Every single point dropped will be massive for these three teams.
Yeah. Anyway, so Barcelona won by 4-1. You saw the second goal here. This is the third goal. Brilliant finish.
It's in a different... They're playing in a different form now.
Yeah.
Top three players of the season so far, I think, is in there.
He's probably player of the season so far for me.
Mohamed Salah. Oh, in La Liga, yeah, perhaps. But across,
Rafinha,
I think
he's having a season
Salah.
Yeah. And that's the final goal of Barcelona. They won 4-1. So that's that. All right, let's look at Champions League football. The playoff matches, the ones that didn't automatically qualify for the round of 16, they are playing a playoff match. Obviously, the big game is between Man City and Real Madrid. Which of them will make... One of them will be kicked out. It's anybody's guess which one is going to get kicked out. Is that obvious, really? Man City are getting kicked out? I mean, that's what it's looking.
Yeah, I think City are not looking good. They're not defending well, and Real Madrid have got great attack. But Real Madrid are going into the game with virtually no defense at all, and that is where maybe City will be looking at it. We can concede, but look, we can also score. So I mean, it's a cliche. It's going to come down to who takes their chances, because both sides will have a lot of them, considering how bad defensively they've been so far, going into the game and the body that they've got. But we've got some fascinating games. There's Brest in Paris. That game is going to be fascinating. Yeah, sweet game. And Monaco-Benfica should be an interesting game as well.
Feyenoord Milan game very
Feyenoord Milan.
Feyenoord just fired
their coach now. So you know what to expect going into that game. And João Felix and Conceição and Jimenez look like some new reborn attack for Milan. So we'll be keeping a close eye. But surely all eyes will be in Manchester tomorrow when they take on Real Madrid.
Bayern are also in action against Celtic away from home. And there's Benfica against Monaco. Oracle, why are you laughing? What's too funny? All right, so that's that. That's our show for this evening. And we will be back next week with another episode. Until then, do take care and bye-bye.